this video, I'm responding to the most insane Reddit post I've seen in a while. If you're vegan, you know that some meat eaters are incredibly fragile, and this post proves it. We're going to go through the post and then do a larger discussion on children's feelings toward eating animals. Let's dive in. Today I fucked up by making my child vegetarian. I have a 6-year-old son. We went to a fair a few months ago and there was a display of livestock that the public could pet. Me, trying to be jolly, told him that he'd be eating them for dinner someday. He's just trying to be jolly, and what's more jolly than unnecessary animal cruelty? My son was shocked and asked me how that was possible. I told him that meat is made by killing animals and cooking them. He then asked me what all the meats were. I told him that it's chicken, beef, steak, sausages, salami, and mutton. Later that night at home, I noticed him separating his dinner. He removed all the meat pieces from the rice and only ate the rice. My wife asked him what was wrong, and he said he doesn't want to eat animals. A lot of vegans remember the moment that they found out meat was animals. My husband does, and he thought it seemed wrong, but he realized that if killing animals is wrong, then society is deeply problematic. And his child brain couldn't handle that thought. So instead, he decided that there was nothing wrong with eating animals. He's vegan now, by the way. In the morning, I gave him a glass of milk, but he refused to drink it. I asked him why, and he said that it's made from cows. I explained to him that milk comes from squeezing a cow's chest and that no cows are hurt or killed when making milk. I also told him that eggs come out of a chicken's mouth. Wrong, I know, but I didn't want him to give up eggs too. Now he starts lying to his kid, both intentionally and unintentionally. When he says that cows aren't killed or hurt when making milk, I genuinely believe that that guy thinks that, which shows how little he knows about animal agriculture. Dairy cows are forcibly impregnated, separated from their children, and eventually slaughtered. Also, saying that it comes from their chests is incredibly confusing. I guess it technically does, but when you look at a picture of a cow, their udders don't seem like they're on their chest. That's just a super weird way to phrase that. Then he intentionally misleads his son by saying that eggs come out of chickens' mouths because he doesn't want him to stop eating eggs. I guarantee this man doesn't know this, but male chicks are ground up alive in the egg industry. If his son doesn't want to hurt animals, he absolutely should not be eating eggs. Thankfully, he's fine with milk and eggs. He's only fine with that because you lied to him. He would not want to eat them if he knew the truth about what's happening to animals in the dairy and egg industries. This kid is eventually going to find out, and then he won't trust his dad about anything, which is probably a good call because this guy is clearly an idiot. Tricking your kid into torturing animals when they clearly don't want to is super messed up. And the reason I say tortured is because these animals are tortured in the industries, and when you buy the products, it increases the demand, thus causing more animals to be tortured. This kid has made his preference clear. He doesn't want to hurt animals, and his dad is tricking him into it anyway. I have a friend who told me horror stories about her dad sneaking meat into her food when she was growing up because he didn't support her choice to be vegan. Even though she knows that it wasn't her fault, she still feels guilty about the animals that were hurt in the process. People often say that it's child abuse to raise your kids vegan, so if that's abuse, then what is this? However, he continued refusing to eat any meat. A week passed and we went to the doctor. The doctor said that it's probably just a temporary phase and we should feed him vegetarian alternatives for the time being. The fact that he took his son to the doctor because he didn't eat meat for a week shows how brainwashed this man is. Does he genuinely believe that we need to eat meat to be healthy? What about all the scientific evidence that we don't? Not to mention the fact that there are millions of healthy vegans and vegetarians who haven't had meat in decades. The doctor tells him, oh, don't worry, this is just a phase. A lot of kids go through this, and I think that a lot of the time that is true. My sister went vegetarian for about a year when we were growing up, and then she stopped, and now she still eats meat. It can be a phase for some people, but hoping that it's a phase is immature. We now buy canned beans, lentils, Greek yogurt, olive oil, whey protein, soy nuggets, and plant-based patties/sausages. We also order a cheese pizza for him. Oh wow, he's feeding his son. Parent of the year over here, guys. Let's praise him for doing absolutely the bare minimum and making sure his son doesn't starve. Great job. It's been a few months and I've bought iron and B12 gummies for him. Even my wife and I are starting to go more vegetarian. TLDR, we went to a fair and there was a display where the crowd could pet livestock. I told my son he'd eat those animals soon, and he's a full-blown vegetarian now. A full-blown vegetarian, oh my god. But how much do you want to bet that those gummies have gelatin in them? I would be shocked if he checked. The foods he mentioned have plenty of iron, so I think it's kind of weird to supplement that, but obviously supplementing B12 is a great choice. We should all be doing that, whether you're vegan or not. I would prefer to see this kid on a vitamin D supplement or a multivitamin, but I'm sure he's gonna be fine. All right, now let's see how stupid the comments are. Most kids do this at least once. I think it's part of learning empathy. He might stay vegetarian or not, just be supportive. I think I was 2 or 3 when I did this, 30 years later, and I'm still a vegetarian and so grateful to have had supportive parents. I'm not sure that most kids do this at least once. I certainly never did when I was a kid, but I may be the exception. So let me know in the comments if you did this when you were a kid, and if you're still vegan or vegetarian, or if you did this and now you eat meat, or if you didn't do this and now you're vegan. I'm happy to see that a lot of the comments are from vegans supporting this kid. All right, here's a really weird comment. My 5-year-old absolutely loves the fact that eggs come out the butt. I guess I don't really understand kids because I'm not a parent, but that seems like a really weird thing for a kid to love. And also, it's just gross. Like the fact that I used to eat something that came out of a chicken's butt grosses me out. I don't think it's funny. I don't think we should be doing that to chickens. But I wonder if that 5-year-old loves the fact that male chicks are ground up alive. Vegetarian here. I became vegetarian later in life, but had a vegan friend whose story has parallels to your son's. 6 years old, family at the dinner table, sibling informed them that they were eating a dead chicken, has never eaten meat since. This is a natural, compassionate reaction to realizing that some of your food comes with a hidden cost of pain and death. You and your spouse deserve a big kudos for supporting your child and sticking to his moral beliefs, even when you don't share them. That's wonderful of you, and whether he remains a vegetarian or not in the future, he will remember how you supported him. I'm not sure if he deserves kudos for lying to his son, but yes, he is buying him food. I'm not a parent, so I may not know all the ins and outs of parenting, but that seems pretty basic to me. Is this part of building compassion? To me, it seems like kids have an innate sense of compassion that society beats out of them. There are plenty of videos of kids finding out that meat is animals and no longer wanting to eat it.
I don't want to eat them ever again.
Oh, do you think, so what will you eat instead?
I will eat whatever there's on the table, but not chicken or meat.
So what will we do if we miss eating chicken and meat?
I don't miss eating chicken and meat.
How about fish?
Fish?
Yeah.
Fish? Is it an animal?
Yeah.
I won't eat that either.
Oh my God, so what?
I won't eat animals!
Okay.
You can see how upset this girl is. Usually when kids react like this, adults are quick to correct them and say, oh, animals eat other animals, it's the food chain, blah, blah, blah. And kids don't know how to argue back, so they adopt those beliefs and then tell them to animal rights advocates when they're challenged on their meat eating. Whenever I talk to people about animal rights, I try to remember that I'm not actually talking to an adult, I'm talking to a kid, because that's literally the last time that most people have thought about this subject. And that's where they go emotionally during these conversations. That's another reason I advocate for empathy when we're talking to meat eaters. How is this a fuck up? Get some perspective and let him live by his principles. Yes. Sounds like your kid has a conscience. You should be proud. Also, yes. I'm glad that most of the comments are like this. It seems like the tide on Reddit could be turning in favor of animal rights. I don't always get that sense, but at least I did in this post, which was very promising to see. I think if it had been posted 5 years ago, we probably wouldn't have gotten that response. But yeah, this kid sounds awesome. We should obviously support him and support anyone who stands against animal cruelty and goes against society's norms. I hope that he quickly learns the truth about eggs and dairy and goes vegan. Also, it sounds like he lives in the UK because they brought up mutton, so there's tons of awesome vegan activists there, and I hope that one day he gets involved. I also love that the parents have reduced their meat consumption too. This is a great example of the spillover effect, which is that you influence your friends and family to reduce their demand for animal flesh and thereby magnify the effect that yourself going vegan has. Thanks for watching today. If you want to help us shut down a slaughterhouse in Denver, please donate today. We're running a fundraiser until the end of June, and otherwise I will see you next time.